The very first lesson, signs and effects. And the reason I'm combining them is because these are catch-22. Most signs of depression are also the effects of depression. The very first one right there, I'm writing about physical symptoms, like consistent migraines, lower back pains, stomach aches. Number 2, social withdrawal. People who used to be outgoing, they don't want to relate with others. You want to retreat to your own cocoon. You feel more comfortable when you're by yourself. Number 3, feelings of inadequacy, like you don't measure up. You find others like they are far better than you are. You are not the type that should be promoted or that should win in business. You are not the type to have a stable relationship. Number 4, irritability. If you find someone in your house, they come after work and they start throwing plates at your child. They are not disciplining the child. The fellow has a problem. He has crossed the boundary of discipline. If somebody is always screaming at you, you become a scapegoat of his depression. See, when people are unable to deal with their own inner struggles, they project their woes to those around them. Number 5, loss of interest to things you used to like. People who used to be outgoing, they suddenly withdraw. You used to like nature or even visiting the jungle, and you pull back. Erratic sleep habits, and this can be either insomnia or hypersomnia. Insomnia is the lack of sleep. Hypersomnia is oversleeping. Of course, everything in life has some advantages and disadvantages. And because you're too serious, I'll give you one advantage of depression right now. One advantage of depression is that you don't ever need to make your bed because you're always in the bed. Now, fatigue, unusual tiredness. If you wake up tired in the morning, in the evening you wish it was in the morning. In the morning you wish it was in the evening. You are a candidate that needs specialized treatment. Difficulty thinking clearly, incoherent speeches, inability to make decisions, extreme fear of minor risks, because you tend to think anything you start is gonna fail. Loss or increased appetite. Notice it can go either way. Either you've lost appetite or you've increased appetite. How do you know? You have drastic weight changes. Either you have increased weight dramatically or lost weight drastically. Then there is an issue. Constant pessimism, loss of hope. You are always seeing things going haywire. For example, for sure, there are some few issues we need to fix as a country. Corruption has reached a level we have not witnessed in the last 15 years. But if you have lost so much hope, as though you are the only Kenyan affected by corruption, there is no single hope in you of doing anything. You are now waiting to see the collapse of this government. Then you're depressed. Use of stimulants and depressants, and sometimes we confuse the two. Stimulants sometimes are called uppers. These are things that excite your central nervous system, like crack and cocaine. Even energy drinks like coffee and nicotine. I should not talk about coffee myself. The pleasants, on the other hand, are downers, like morphine and heroin and alcohol, things that bring down the central nervous system, that makes you dizzy, sleepy. Number 12, recurrent thoughts of death or suicide. And this is the most serious. And I think at this point, let me first pause and say this. Don't give up on the fight. Every hero of faith went through the same life you are going through. We might not be wearing labels on our faces of what we are going through, but each one of us has items in our hands that we are dealing with. Suicide is a permanent choice premised on temporal problems. No matter how strong the emotions may be, no emotion will last. Emotions are like the waves of the sea. They rise and fall. You are never designed to solve all your problems by yourself. You are wired for relationships. All of us are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface but connected in the deep. Isolation, as I've said many times, leads to termination. The enemy of our soul is a master divider, is a master isolator. Isolation minimizes imagination. It limits imagination. When we are together, we are able to solve some of the problems we are finding myriad just by the mere idea of reaching out to someone else. So I repeat again, you are never meant to solve all your problems by yourself. If you ever feel you've reached that point, just share with someone even if they can't help you. Maybe what is stressing you is finances and you know this character has no money, but just speak with them. The mere fact that you've spoken with them, they might even point you to some plots you forgot long ago. Throughout my career, I've tried to challenge a lot of conventions. And this is totally beside the point and has nothing to do with what we are talking about today. But I decided I'm going to transact some little business here because when I was growing up, I heard people saying, if you commit suicide, you just procured your ticket to hell. And I don't know whether there will be any other topic, any other opportunity for me just to deal with that lie that has been passed on from generation to generation. And the thoughts I'm going to give you are not my thoughts, they are biblical thoughts. There seems to me to be a transcendental difference in time between the time you're clinically dead and your eternal destiny. Let me first make a disclaimer. When you die, you either go to heaven or hell from a biblical perspective. Any other teaching is a lie. I didn't discover that. Jesus said, there was this rich man who ignored the poor man called Lazarus, and both died. One is in hell, and Lazarus is in heaven, to the extent Jesus even gives names of people. He's at Abraham's bosom. Anything else is a lie. You either go to heaven or hell. Of course, both of them will be finished at the end of time. And what will be the new hell will be the lake of fire. Here's the deal. Now, suicide is murder. Murderers will go to hell. Revelation 21:8. Let's go slowly here. Suicide is murder, itself murder. Let's make it very clear. But immediately you die, I've seen a lot of scriptures, I'll try to draw two of them, that seem to suggest the mercies of God knows no bound. For instance, when they were stoning Stephen to death in Acts 8, the story begins in chapter 7, we see Stephen able to see Christ, studying, beckoning him, coming for him. And he was able to say, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. The man is clinically dead, so to speak. He's technically dead. He has been stoned beyond speaking, but he's still able to make that choice. I'm going to Christ. But perhaps the most interesting story are the two thieves who are crucified with Christ on the cross. The writers of the gospel were able to say what these guys said, but believe me, they never heard them. One, these guys were beaten to death. Two, they were raised on the tree, very high. They couldn't even hear them, even if they murmured with their lips. Number three, the people who wrote these scriptures had run away, all of them. So there's no way they heard them. So I want to believe they never even opened their mouth. Maybe they were speaking their heart, and one chose hell, and one chose Jesus. Seems like the God of the universe still gives people an opportunity to make an eternal decision. Here's the deal from a biblical perspective. Jesus died for all sins, including suicide. That's why he wants us, do not judge. It is not your responsibility to determine where somebody's eternal destiny will be. In any case, who gave you the assignment of judging other people's lives? Eternity. You have to deal with your own salvation. Scripture says, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Who gave you the assignment to determine where people went? I'm saying this because I had a preacher speak such words when the president was there, that they normally decide who has gone to heaven and who has gone to hell. Do you remember that? I was shocked, very shocked. Nobody knows. The answer is this: nobody knows. Only God knows. Even at that particular moment, the thing is this: your current sins were once in the future. Jesus died for your past sins and your future sins, including suicide. Caution: I wouldn't want to meet the God of all the earth immediately after committing murder. If anyone tells you they want to commit suicide, take it very seriously. And I'll be explaining to you why. You know, in the US in particular, I dug the best I could in all the documents I could. I couldn't get reliable statistics on this part of the world. I would have preferred to give you Kenyan statistics. But from the US statistics, the number of suicide cases are twice the number of homicide cases. And the most notorious black spot of suicide is the Golden Gate Bridge at the San Francisco Bay. I deliberately chose to walk through this bay just to observe these emotional aiders who tried to rescue these people along the 2.7-kilometer suspended bridge. And they just observe you. If you're there on tourism ground, like I was doing with Mercy and my two children, they don't bother you. But if they realize you're trying to weigh options between the bridge and 67-meter deep, the Pacific Sea. And by the way, guys fall there at 75 miles an hour, and before they hit the ground, the impact already has shattered their bones. So they just patrol the bridge. You may never notice them if you're just touring. But if you're making a decision between this divide and the next, they come very quickly and begin to reason with you. And they have had over 75% success rate. So I want to suggest this. Go beyond the mask of the individuals around you and truly find out how they are doing. There are a lot of men and women who wear emotional masks, who raise huge walls to block you from coming to the inside. And especially if they are doing well in their career lives, they will put a huge emotional block, barrier, so that you don't come near them. They are hurting, and they don't want to allow anyone near them. So how exactly can we help these people? I want to give you some 5 things that you can do to help your loved ones, and 5 things that you can do. But before doing that, let me just show you a few cases of suicidal notes, 10 suicidal notes, just to let you know depression leads to suicide. Let's look at these cases together, guys who took away their lives. Virginia Woolf, I feel certain that I'm going mad again. I feel we can't go through another of those terrible times, and I shan't recover this time. I begin to hear voices. Which voices was he hearing? Wendy Williams, I don't believe that people should take their own lives without deep and thoughtful reflection over a considerable period of time. Charlotte Perkins Gilman, when all usefulness is over, when one is assured of an unavoidable and imminent death, it is the simplest of human rights to choose a quick and easy death in place of a slow and horrible one. Rachel Lindsay, they tried to get me, I got them first. Can we say it in Kiswahili? Walijaribu kunishika. Tony Hankon, things just seem to go too wrong too many times. Freddie Prince, I must edit. There is no hope left. I'll be at peace. No one had anything to do with this. My decision totally. At least he took responsibility. George Seders, dear world, I'm leaving you because I'm bored. I have lived long enough. I'm leaving you with your worries in their sweet cesspools. Good luck. James Whale, the future is just old age and illness and pain. I'll have peace, and this is the only way. The last guy I found interesting, he didn't want to live beyond age 67. It's good when you know your limit, when your time is up. Hunter Thompson, no more games, no more bombs. No more walking, no more fun, no more swimming. 67. That is 17 years past 50. 17 more than I needed or wanted. Boring, no fun for anybody. 67. You're getting greedy. Act your own age. Relax. This won't hurt. Let's get out of these things. These can be depressing. I want to give you some 5 things to do to help a loved one who is fighting depression.